staying with us till the third day. So today is our new product launching, and it will including also some of the training. So first, we know Superstar Medical actually from the last year to this year, we have many new products launching, like the AED defibrillator, and also patient monitor, and also our new style immune system machine, also our Gemini ventilator, and the transport ventilator. So now today, actually our training will be separated into 5 times, and the first one will be the NCS system, and also it's one on the main line. Okay. So now actually we will first start about the NCS system. For NCS system, actually the training will start from product overview, the feature, advantage, and application. We know actually for Superstar Medical, before actually we already have around 8 to 10 series of different NCS systems, from basic end, middle end to the high end. But why we still need to have the new product? Let's see the appearance. So as you can see on the screen now, we have the S12 and S12pro. Of course, we're going to have the S15, S15pro, S18, S18pro. So actually, the 12 means the screen we are using the 12 inches, and it will be easy for you to distinguish. And also for Pro, it means we were changing the breathing circuit. So that means for the S12, actually the breathing circuit is PPSU material, and this one is the most popular now in different clinics and hospitals. And for S12 Pro, we will be changing the metal, and which is better for the heating function and bypass function. Okay, as you can see for our new model and appearance, the main difference I think with before is the appearance. Why we have this design, you can see actually it's become a little bit slim. So why we make it? Because actually we know in the clinics nowadays, in different theater or operation room, actually the space is limited, and especially in some kind of the small hospital and also the clinic. So we can use this kind of appearance to save the space, while at the same time we know that for anesthesia system, when the gas coming inside from the backside of the machine and finally to the mask and to the patient for the patient breathing, it's a very long routine. So if we can make actually the anesthesia machine to be much more compatible and slim, actually the routine will be shorter, and also the loss will be less. So then the patient can get all of the data. There will be no any leakage. So this is why we have this design. And also for our new model, we have also another advantage is that, as you can see, the 15 and 15pro. For this kind of machine, no matter for the basic requirements or for the middle end requirements or even for the high end, this appearance and the frame can add in everything. It's different than before. Before, maybe we think that if we want to use some, for example, the digital flow meter, or we want a bigger screen, or we want to change the bypass or the heating function, maybe we need to change our model. But actually, it's not very good for some tender requirements. So now, if we have this kind, you can see this machine. Without the except for the basic function, then even for the bypass, for the heating function, and for the module, no matter for anesthetic or ETC module, everything can be added on this appearance. So it will be easy for you to use. And for the features of this NCS system, and we can see, now we have the 12, 15, and 18 inches, and of course, all of them are standard with the touch screen. And then for the flow meter here, actually we have the choice. You can use the mechanical one, or you can also use the digital one. It meets different requirements from hospital and also the tender. And for the ventilator, of course, we are still using 2 ventilators design, and you can choose from the halogen, fluorine, isofluorine, and sevofluorine. But here I want to also mention that for some high-end hospital now, they will require about the desfluorine. For desfluorine ventilator now, in China we don't have the manufacturer, but at least we can ensure you, if you buy the desfluorine from your local plant, actually you can equip it with our machine to use. That is not a problem. And then here you can see for the cylinder pressure gauge. So for this one, we can also add in the yoke on the back side. Even it's very steep, but still actually we can add at least 3 yokes on the back side of the machine. We can choose from the air, natural side, and oxygen. ACGO function, no matter for our anesthesia machine before or the new design, actually we always make it as a standard configuration. It's not the same with some other manufacturer, because actually as our experience and our talking to some clinical doctors and anesthetists, we know the ACG function is still very important. So if we can make it even by the basic end model, actually it can get us much more advantage and better for you to talk with the doctor and your customers. Okay. And for the drawer, for the new periods, our design is 2 drawers. And some people may ask us why you don't have the 3 drawers or something. Actually, I know if for some tender requirements, actually we can do some change. But usually, if we use 2 drawers, that each of the depth and the width actually is enough. Even sometimes we can put it inside of some small patient monitor. And of course, it's true that when we delivering the products, if you can save some space, actually the delivering charge will be less. And of course, for this one, we also have some other options, like the HSS. It will be holding by the left side of the machine, and also by this machine by the right side. As yesterday you see in our showroom, it can also equip with the suction machine. So it will be a complex, complete and secure workstation. So this one we're using a pneumatical electronic control, and it can be used, of course, for adult, pediatric, and neonatal. So before formalizing the machine, usually when you choose the patient type, it will choose VTH or VTL, and usually we set by 30 kilograms. That means around 300 milliliters, because usually we are mentioning 1 kg is equal to 8 to 12 milliliters. But now for this model, actually we have a little more as well. So when you use this machine, at least the total volume is starting from 10. And for some new application software, we will make it by 2. So it will be used for all kinds of applications. And of course, for this one, we can see about the modules, the monitors, the ET02, and also the oxygen filtration, and the anesthesia module. And finally, for this one, we know nowadays many hospitals they will require also the interface to be connecting with the central monitoring system, just like our patient monitor or some kind of the ventilator, and also even the EEG. So for this machine, now we will have the HL7 USB RS232, different kind of interfaces. So later when you buy a machine, and you just tell us about the principle from the hospital, and then we will have our engineer to make it through. And then everything will be also shown on the central monitoring system. So this makes our internet system safety, intelligent, and also save the space. And this is some detailed picture for our machine, but of course you will see our real machine as well. So you can see, even for the auxiliary oxygenation, actually this port is also now very important. When we talk with some anesthetists, they tell us, if we have this port, actually before the operation, the patient can breathe in from this port for some flow of the oxygen, and can make them better to be adapted to the operation and cooperate with the doctors. Because we know, usually before the operation, actually the patient will feel nervous and something. So actually their lung function and their breathing will not be stable. So then if we can use this one, it will help a lot. And also after the operation, we can also use this one for giving them some pure oxygen to help them recover soon. And for the second picture is the monitoring system. And this one will be shown is a 15-inch touch screen. And you can see on the screen, we have 4 different parts to show different kind of parameters. But at least it's very clear. And also the parameter, the data will be very big. So even the doctors maybe 2 or 3 meters far away from the machine, they will be very clearly to know about the situation of the patient. Then for the integrated breathing systems, for the anesthesia machine before, for example, the S15pro series, and all of the machine actually we are using the ABS breathing circuit. But then we're connecting with the market. Now we are all changing to the PPSU. And it will be better to have the heating function and for long time using. And the last one is the HSS. For the HSS, our company using is the passive one, the active one. So this is some advantages with the shortened here, for example, the neonatal. For the unit total volume now, it's starting from 10, but as I have just mentioned, in the future, in the near future, actually, we will make it by 2. Because now for our ICU ventilator, we already made the total volume to 2. So later on our inside machine, we will also realize it. And for pediatric, usually it's from 20 to 300 milliliters, and for adults, it's from 20 to 4,000. This is the ventilation mode which this machine has, and this is also the new design for new products. We know before actually for all kinds of different products, maybe for example for the basic one, it only had the volume control and using the mechanical valve. But for this one, all models are using the electric proportional valve. So it means when you are setting any of the parameters, it will be very accurate, especially for PEEP and tidal volume. It will not getting high and down, it will always stable. Anytime you set in the parameters, after one pressing cycle, it will provide the new data. And also, as you see for this one, we have the basic one, IPPV, still we have it, SIV and AC, but also we have the PAC, PSIV. So this was also under pressure control. And of course, we have some high-end ventilation mode on our inside machine, like the PCVVG. So as for our before inside machine, only if you get the S15pro, that is the middle end model, which will have this. But now, even the basic end model for our new product, we have it. And this is some kind of the screen, shows different kind of the ventilation mode. And of course, this one, this model, we know for our before inside machine, only the high-end one, the S15pro, it has the HFNC, that means the high flow nasal cannons. Only the high-end one have this. But for our new products, we also have the HFNC. And this is some monitoring parameters. You need to load the AG monitoring module and data storage. So for this machine, we're also making the AG module on our anesthesia machine directly, not only using the anesthetic the patient monitor, but already shown on our anesthesia machine. It's on the left side of the machine. And the AG module and the ETCO2, we are not using a modular design. That means even first the hospital doesn't have the requirement to buy the anesthesia machine, but later, if they're able to add the function of the module, they just buy the module and just plug in. Then it's very easy for them to use. And even for this kind of module, you plug on it to use on another anesthesia machine. It's also very easy and fast. And also for the HFNC and the auxiliary oxygen inlet. Okay, so there will be some applications for the anesthesia machine, of course, in operation rooms, and of course, in some kind of intensive care units. And we know for anesthesia machine in the hospital, no matter which department, when the patient needs to do the operation, they will all use the anesthesia machine. So this is the most important machine in the ICU and also in the operation room. Okay. Then the most important actually I want to show is that about the real machine. Thank you. So now actually after the PowerPoint, the real machine is the most important thing. So for our anesthesia machine, as you can see now for the period, it's very slim. Even actually, it's much more slim than me, of course. Yeah. So here, as you can see by the software, when we open the machine, it's never like before. Even for the basic model, we already have the real self-testing. For this self-testing, you can see after the checking, it's usually around 3 to 5 seconds. We are not using a long time. Because for some kind of the emergency operation, we cannot fit. Some customers before they told us, Actually, we will in 17 testing time for the machine. We know some of the manufacturer, they were using maybe 1 minute or something. But for our machine here, actually it's very easy. And as you can see, for different parts of the machine, we can all step by step for checking. And after this, we can also automatically check in the leakage message. It's very important as well. And then for standard interface, we will see that. Now we have the definition design and also for the preview station. And for the preview station, we can store all of the data from the previous station. It's not like before. And because we know one patient after using the anesthesia machine, maybe they will do some high flow with oxygen generation sometime. After they will come back for the patient again. Then we just using the same time. And then, of course, here for the inpatient, we here we choose for the animals, energy, and the and all of the data will already relevant to choose which we have chosen. For example, if we choose the neonatal, and we can check out what the age and also weight after one of the cycles, then it will be very easy to choose that we understand. And with the data here, you can see as we choose the neonatal, so that one will be able to we only need to do some less adjustment. So you can see the time for the doctors and also for the fast operations time. So on this screen now, you can see it has been separated into 4 parts. The upper side here is all rounded areas, and you can see the yellow one and the red one. We use different level, different color, actually to judge different kind of the lumps. And for this machine, we have around 14 kinds of the lumps. That is, no matter for the oxygen concentration high or low, even for the power, for everything, we have the lumps. So every time the machine has any problem, we will know first, and it will never hurt the patient. And also the different kind of color, also with different frequency of the sound, you can see also. And for the sound volume now, we are far from this machine. We cannot hear it the volume around, we can see it. And also by the left side here, we just mentioned to you. Here you can see, we can show also the electric pressure. With some other manufacturer of the machine, we can only show pressures by pressure gauge. Here, this is for the central gas connection. And also, we can show the connection with the cylinder, and also show by the pressure gauge. But for this machine, we have the electric pressure. We show on the screen directly, so it's much easier for doctors to check. And also here, we have the electric flow meter. While here, we also have the mechanical one. So as you can see, for this machine, no matter for which kind of the function, we have two designs to couple ensure safety. For example, if the screen has some problem or the electricity goes off, at least we can still use our mechanical bulb to see the telephone and to know how to use it for operating and for patient safety consideration. And by the middle side here, for this machine, we have we have 3 windows. This I wanted to show on the screen. But of course, at the same time, we can change it to groups and also some parameters. It will be much easier. And the bottom side will be the testing parameters. And also by the right side, all of this data are from the patient app. We can see on the uniforms and monitoring parameters to know exactly the patient using situation. Then we can see about some functions. The first one is the build button is very normal on all machines, and usually we have it for the 2 minutes and counts after 2 minutes.
全屏了，好多重影了，为什么？
哪里有重影啊？
啊，我外面怎么不是重影，就是好几个。你现在看是
不是，
两个，
它是2个屏幕啊，它那个大屏是2个屏幕。
随便好两个，刚才好几个把这些，上一个俩一个两个三个，为什么不请问？
因为它是这样的，这个没事，它外面是2块屏幕，屏幕没问题，屏幕是正常。我姐，我为什么？我操！我刚开头忘了点了，怎么办？
我现在点一下就行了。
我知道，他现在点了，我刚才现在已经点了。
没事啊，点了呀。你说那个是吗？
不是忘了点这个。
一开始还是现在这个？现在这个有点忘了。
现在这个录了，一开始的时候没录。
好吧，我那边录了，但是我那边不好，因为亮哥在那呢，一直。
那咋办呢？
你们这都是他补上的呀，就我那个丑的，所以我用了一个那个嘛。太紧张了，本来我就想给，我今天告诉你一下的。
他让我本来好好读，他让我播放音乐。
然后一看你忘了，好像你后面又补上了，是不是这个忘了吗？这个忘了。
这个没有，现在在录。
这个可以，这个没事。那个没事，我录了，我用那个这个没事。我以为是这个呢，这个。
他叫我本来准备我说什么让我给我找音乐去播放音乐，然后我就转键。
应该一开始就点了，哎，我也不知道这个能不能录上，我在想，因为时间太长了会卡。没事，你看一个录上。哎，这个吗？啊，录上。
对，我刚刚在录上，就是开头10分钟没有。
他讲完你就结束就行，结束就
点结束，不点结束，他不是还下一个吗？
下一个再开，就把它忘卡。你老早的点，我来告诉你。
If the features for the version circuit is standard, if you really don't want to use it, then just turn it off. Because for a long time, if you're not using it, actually it will be hurt. So here we can turn it on or turn it off. And then here for the screen, you can see, no matter for which kind of data, you can change the color. Maybe you think it's nonsense, but actually for some companies and executives, they have their habits, or maybe they think red maybe means the most of the high-end one, or maybe the blue one, just a step as to their habits. And here you can see we have the alarm turn on and off, and the alarm volume, just what I mentioned to you. And as you can see, it's impossible because really, we don't want the customer to set it. But for example, if the customer already have the alarm, that's how they actually have the customer, so that they can set it for customer. And here also we have some errors in the result data for sure everything in the screen. And for this instead machine now, we already have at least 72 hours of the trend. It means all of the history data. It's not only for the parameters yet, but also for the operation. What I mean by operation is that, for example, which parameter you have been doing and which function buttons you have been pressed, it will be all be recorded on the trend. So when you transmit all of the data on the laptop or anything, you can know what exactly the instance is operating the machine and what parameter it is. So this is for the full software side. And here, of course, we also for the button and for the build button, we also have this fast button. And for the pressure part here, actually, as I mentioned to you, the mechanical one and also the electrical one will be shown here. And for the web panel here, we usually have two web panels. And for the web panel from our company, we also have the advantages. And usually we have the pressure and temperature and also the flow compensation. Why we need to have the compensation? Because we know, just like I just mentioned, the normal routine from the GM gas source to the HM is a normal routine. So anytime you will have some loss in the parameters. So if our web panel can also have the compensation automatically, then can ensure the patient get everything and send the set. And also for the panel now, we have different choose the profit time, the easy fitting, and the key fitting. But I think we really the easy fitting is the most chosen because it's not very complex. The same time we will not make the executive medicine protocol for us to use. So this is for the private. And also here for the pricing circuit. As you can see the panel here, the panel we are using actually is the integrated one. Why we mention integrated because the method we are using for the network, children or adults, one value is enough to be used. You don't need to change for children for small. We know usually this one is a big one, and we have a small one is called 0 to 300. But for our design, we don't need. Why we have this design? Because actually, you can think about it. Usually, if we change for the children or the why we need to change the value? I think it's because the parameter is not very accurate, or maybe the difference is very lot. But for our software, because our difference now for the parameter is only 2%, it's already very accurate. So even you change the mission type, you don't need to change the values. It's very good design. And then here for our solver and also we call it 10. And actually we make it to the 1.5 meters. So it's a big one. Why we have this big one? Because actually it can contain enough of the scenario to ensure the long-term operation without changing the scenario. And of course, for this one, you already have the bypass function. So you know, even actually the operation time is more than 8 hours or 10 hours, for some very complex operating operation, we can very easy change the server and the gas will never leakage. And you never need to change the manual ventilation. Only the mechanical one is involved. For design of here, we have the header. For some other design before, we usually use, if we want to use in the manual ventilation, actually the pipe is underneath, and maybe our incentives need to do like this. It will be very complex, but now it's very easy. Just stand here, and we can just press that for some manual ventilation requirements. And for the panels, usually from starting from 0.5 meters and actually to 5 meters. Will give you different options. For the module we just mentioned is here. You can see actually what the style of the machine here. We have the port. And this port is to put inside the module. And usually for now the standard module is 2. But later we can make it more. And this one is the HFC function. It's already the standard one. Connecting another Wi-Fi and then it's a mask formation that we can use in the time for these functions. And for this workstation now, we're using the manual design. So then usually in minutes and in tests, we will record some of the patient data or information. You can just write it on this table. It's very easy for them to use. And this part is for automatic changing of the ACGO. The ACGO means auxiliary common gas outlet. And usually when we're talking with anesthetics or with doctors, usually we have several functions. For example, for the ACGO, we can use the ACGO function for giving the patient some rapid oxygen supply. Why we use this? Because actually for purity, it still has some anesthetic medicine inside. So if we want the oxygen to be quickly and fast, then we can use the ACGO function. And also in the clinic, we have a kind of operation named the open circuit operation. We know if in the clinical ventilation is the closed circuit because the patient breathes in from the machine and also breathes out to the machine. But if we use the open circuit, then we are connecting with the AC joule for realizing. And the open circuit operation is usually used for some kind of small patient, like baby or something. And also, we have another function is that usually we know, for example, if some kind of patient is in some accident, they need to do the operation immediately, and they don't have time to check it by the IVD machine or by the X-ray machine. Then we don't know if they have the infection techniques. Then at least we can use this part for doing the operation. Because in some hospitals, the operation is done by one. There's a lot of operation on maybe only one machine. If we use this part, then even the next station we can still use the main circuit to do it. And of course, the last chase. For example, if the AC is failing, but unfortunately the battery also has some problem, then at least we can still use this port. If you still have the gas, then at least we can still give the patient the best or best out to save the patient lives and make the patient has no any kind of entrance. And now, we see about the backside of the machine. So by the backside of the exam system, we can see here, we have one of the main sockets, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 auxiliary port sockets. Why we have this, just like I mentioned to you, it's very flexible configuration. If you want to make this item into a high-end one, you will equip it with the HSS, equip it with the suction machine, even you equip it with the humidifier, patient monitor, accept monitor, even the patient information system. So many different items can be equipped with the machine.
Now, of course, we need to have enough auxiliary ports on, because in the metro which kind of hospital, there will be not enough AC power. Then we just connecting one power line to AC power, the other item is connected to the AC connection. It can also ensure the lines will not cross over and ensure the machine to be using for more time than one time. And as you can see by the website here, the IS232, USB, LED, and HDMI, which I just mentioned. And all of these functions already can be realized. And we just connect with the hospital information system. It's very easy. And here will be the port for the air, natural silent, and oxygen. And for oxygen port, why we always have the two port for oxygen? Because oxygen is the driven gas for the system. So if we have two ports, then you can connect one port with the central oxygen supply and another one. If you really have also have the oxygen cylinder, you can connect another port with the oxygen cylinder. Then we can ensure, if for example one of them is failure, another one can automatically keep oxygen to ensure the machine is running stable all the time. And on the power point, we have mentioned the yoke. So for this machine, if you really want to equip this yoke, it will be by this line. We will make a port and hanging on the ropes. And usually for this kind of ropes, our choosing is from 7 liters to 10 liters. It can ensure so at least not a very long time operation is okay to use. There is no any problem. Okay. So this will be everything for the access system. And I'm not telling you everything, but at least I want to show you some advantage for our new models. So if you have any question, you can ask me, or even later after the meeting. So, thank you so much.